Hi everyone, welcome to PrepFusion. So now we are going to solve this particular question which was asked in GATE 2021 examination. Okay, it was based on Hamming code. So when this question came, at that time there was so much of controversy that it should be MTA. So let's check that out what this question is saying and what could be the possible answer. And this solution for this particular question have been given by IITs as well. On NPTEL they have uploaded the video solution of this particular question. Now in that solution, what could be the ambiguity, that also we will check. So whatever the discussion that could be done regarding this particular problem, we are going to do that. So let's get started. What they have given a 7,4 systematic linear Hamming code. So with respect to data word, they have defined some code word. So if this is my data word, with respect to the data word, they have defined some code words. If your data word is 1100, then my code word is 010 is the parity bit and my data bits are 1100, right? Now 1110, then 001 is my parity bits and data words are 110. And if your data word is 0110, then parity bit is 100 and data word is 0110. So this is what they have defined. Now they are asking which of these are a valid code word. So generally what do we study? The Hamming code that we study in this manner. Like for 7,4 we will say that so there will be total 7 bits in the code word. First parity bit would be there, second parity bit would be there, then data bit would be there, then another parity bit would be there, and then data bits. So this is the general, or you can say this is the standard Hamming code that we study, and this is known as asystematic Hamming code. Asystematic Hamming code. So this is your standard Hamming code, but this is not the pattern here, right? This pattern is not given. If this pattern was given, then what we could have done? We could have find out, sir, parity checker bit 1, parity checker bit 2, then parity checker bit 3, and if these bits are coming out to be 000, that means it is a valid code word, otherwise it is not a valid code word. So this process we would have done. This was your standard Hamming code. But now in the question, they are not giving you the standard way. They are giving you systematic Hamming code. Okay. Now you know one thing, that Hamming code is a linear code as well. So if it is a linear code, then it will surely follow the property of all the linear codes. Now what all are the property of linear code? First one is that all 0 will be a valid code. Second one is to get a particular valid code, if you do the XOR operation of any two valid code word, you would get a valid code word. If I do C1 XOR C2, I will get C3 for sure. I will get a valid code word. And what is the other property? That D minimum is actually equals to W minimum, right? So this property will not be used here. This property may be used, and this property will also be used. So basically what I need to do, I need to find, now what will click to me in the examination? First thing, what should click to me? In the examination, it will click to me that, sir, 3 code words are given. I will try finding out other code words as well. What is the value of K here? Data word length is 4. That means number of code words possible. Number of code words possible. What that would be? 2 to the power 4. That means 16 code words are possible. So, sir, I will try to find out 16 code words. Out of these 16 code words, only one of them will be valid. But just let me know, will you be able to find out 16 code word or not? Using these 3 code words, will you be able to find out 16 code word? Answer is no. Then how much code words you will be able to find out using this code word? Just focus on the last bit. Here, in all the code words, your last bit is 0. So if you do, let's just call this one as C1, this one as C2, this one as C3. If I do C1 XOR C2, what I will get? Sir, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Something is wrong. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, yeah. Right? 1, 1, 1, 0 and 0, 1, 1, 0. Yeah, everything is fine now. Yeah. So, sir, if I do C1 XOR C2, what I am getting? Sir, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So, sir, this valid code word, this is also a valid code word. What do you notice here? Sir, last bit is 0 only. If you do the XOR operation of C2 XOR C3, the last bit will be 0. If you do the XOR operation of C1 XOR C3, last bit will be 0. Now whatever the result that you are getting, let's just say from C2 XOR C3, I will be getting the result of C5. I will do C4 XOR C5, last bit will be 0. I do C1 XOR C5, last bit will be 0. That means from this particular method, I will be able to check only this option and this option. Now if my luck is good, then one of the option B and D would match, and I will be able to click on the answer. I am not telling you the solution here. Here I am telling you how a student would be thinking. If I had been a student, this is how I would be thinking in the examination. The first thing that would click to me, surely it is a linear code. It is given as well, and I also know that Hamming code are linear code only. So I will apply the property of linear code, but I will notice one more thing, that all code words are having 0 bit at the last. That means I will be able to determine only option B and D. If my luck is good, I will do the XOR operation of all of them, and one of the option might be matching. Now can you just let me know, using these kind of code words, how many code words out of these 16 code words you will be able to determine? Using this one, using this one, using this one, using this C4, out of these 16 code words, how many code words you will be able to determine? Just think about it. Sir, 8. Why is that so? Because you will not be able to determine all those code words which are ending with 1. Total 16 are there. With respect to 4 data word, 16 code word would be there. So you will not be able to determine the code words for those data words. You will not be able to determine the code words for those data words which are ending with 1. So how many these kind of data words would be there? So 2 into 2 into 2, these kind of data words would be there, 8. So for 8 data words, you will not be able to determine 8 code word. That means using this particular C1, C2, C3 code, you will be able to determine 8 code words only. Rest 8 code words you will not be able to determine. Is that thing clicking to you or not? Does that click to you? So using these data words, I will be able to determine 8 code words. So I am having data words, and let's simply copy it. No, why I am wasting the time? Let's simply copy it. What I am doing. So this I am calling as C1, this I am calling as C2, this I am calling as C3. So when I do C1 XOR C2, what I am getting? Sir, 0, 0, 1, 0. So here you will get, sir, C1 XOR C2 I am doing 0, 0, 1, 0. So sir, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Let's do C2 XOR C3. So I will be getting 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. So I have got C4, I have got C5. Now what do I do? C1, C2, C1, C3, let's do C1, C3. So what you will get? Sir, 1, 0, C1 XOR C3 I need to do, no? So 1, 0, 1, 0. So you are getting 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. We have got C6. Right? Now if you do C4 XOR C5, then you will be getting 1, 0, 1, 0 only, doesn't make any sense. If you do C3 XOR C4, what you will be getting? 0, 1, 0, 0. Yeah. So we will do C3 XOR C4. So what I will be getting? 0, 1, 0, 0. And here I am getting 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. So this is the C7 I am getting. And C8 would be, all 0 code word will always be a valid code word. So these are the 8 code word which I can determine. I cannot determine any code word which is actually ending with 1. So C1, C8. Now check the option. For 1010, they are saying that your parity bit should be 101. For 1010, your parity bit is actually 110. That means this option is not matching. Now let's go to option D. For 0100, your parity bit should be 011. For 0100, your parity bit should be 011, but it is actually coming out to be 111. It is actually coming out to be 111. So it is also not matching. So your luck is not good. If one of them would have matched, you would have clicked on the answer. It is not good now. Now you are stuck with these two options. Right? So now you need to check these two options. Now, which of them is correct? Which of them is correct? Now, a lot of you guys might not know this property of a Hamming code that I am going to write down. For linear code, what is the property? Like a lot of guys would not know this property as well. But if you have studied in a good manner, I have already uploaded complete video for information theory and channel coding. Everything has been uploaded on YouTube only. So you try to study from there once. Okay. So this property is also there. This property is also there. Whenever we study linear code, we only study this property. But no, three properties are there. No. So for linear code, you know that all zero code word will always be a valid code word. All zero code word will always be a valid code word. But there is a property for Hamming code as well. Like Hamming code is a linear code. That means Hamming code will follow this property for sure. That all zero code word will be a valid code word for sure. So this property it will follow for sure, right? But along with that, in Hamming code, another property is there that all one code word will also be a valid code word. But there is a catch. This property will not always be applicable. Okay, what catch is there that I will explain you. Later on I will tell. But for Hamming code, there is a property that all one code word will always be a valid code word. That means one more code word I already know. What that would be? All ones. This is not always applicable. But in this question, by default, they have considered this as applicable. Now, when this would be applicable, that I will tell you later on. But let's solve this question first. So, all ones will be a valid code word for sure. That means this I am telling as 9. So, for with respect to 1111, my code word would be 1111111. Okay. Now, what I can do? I can do some XOR operation and finally in the end I can get 1. So, what I need to check? I need to check for 1001. I need to check for 1001 and I need to check for 0100. So, first let's check for 1001. So, my target is getting 1001. So, with 1111, I need to XOR something that I get 1001. What it should be? Sir, you do this XOR operation. So, with 1111, you do the XOR of 0110. So, if you do C3 XOR C9, if I do C3 XOR C9, what I will be getting? C3 XOR C9. So, you can see here, this would be 0, this would be 1, this would be 1. So, 1, 0, 0, 1. Right? This would be your C10. C3 XOR C9, which is your C3 XOR C9. So, if I do C3 XOR C9, I am getting 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. But what is given? 1, 1, 0 is given. That means, sir, this is wrong. So, only option left is C. That would be correct. But we will see everything. I haven't even tell that what was the solution given by NPTEL. Now, what I need to make? I need to make 1011 now. 1011. And I will add it up with 1111. That means what I need to add? So, you need to actually add 1011 you need to make, no? So, you need to add 0100. What I need to add? 0100, 0100. So, C7 XOR C9. So, this was with respect to 1001. So, if I do C7 XOR C9, what I will be getting? C7 XOR C9. So, C7 C9. So, 1 XOR 1, 1 XOR 1, what you are getting? 000. C7 XOR C9. So, 1 0 1 1. So, this you are getting as C11, which was C7 XOR C9. So, with respect to 1011, you are actually getting 000 as the parity bit. Is that mentioned? Yes, sir. This would be the answer. Okay. So, the professor who set up this question, I think he would have solved in this manner. But in NPTEL, like professors are not giving the solution. PhD scholars are giving the solution. So, the PhD scholar who gave the solution, he gave the solution in this manner. So, what I am writing down? I am writing down NPTEL solution. So, what was the NPTEL solution given? So, what he said? He said that there is a random logic, right? He said that this was your data word and code words. These were your data word and code word. So, you can see that your code word is actually in this pattern. P1, P2, P3, D1, D2, D3, D4. So, basically this is the pattern that you are getting 010, 001, 100, and here you are having 1100, 1110 and 0110. Now, he says that every parity bit could be written in this manner, that P1 could be written as D1 XOR D2. If you do D1 XOR D2, right? 1 XOR 1, 0, 1 XOR 1, 0, 0 XOR 1, 1. So that means P1 you are getting. So you can write it down as D1 XOR D2, and here he added D4 as well. Okay? Because D1 XOR D2 XOR D4, what you will be getting? 1 1 0, that would be 0, 1 1 0, that would be 0, 0 1 0, that would be 1. What about P2? D2 XOR D3 XOR D4, 1 0 0 would be 1, 1 1 0 would be 0, 1 1 0 would be 0. So D2 XOR D3 XOR D4. I will tell you whatever the doubt that you are having, have some patience. Now then for P3 he said that if you do D1 XOR D2 XOR D3, D1 XOR D2 XOR D3. Okay. So now you are able to follow up that this is the equation of P1, this is the equation of P2, this is the equation of P3. So now you check all these four options. You put 1 0 0 1, you see what kind of parity bit you are getting. You put 1 0 1 0, what kind of parity bit you are getting. So in that manner you check, only one option will be satisfied, that would be option C. So then he said that basically you take your data bit as D1, D2, D3, D4. You take that data bit as 1 0 1 1, right? That is 1 0 1 1. You take it as 1 0 1 1. Then you find out your P1. Your P1 would be D1 XOR D2 XOR D4, D1 XOR D2 XOR D4. So 1 XOR 1 XOR 1, that would be 1. What would be your P2? D2 D3 D4, D2 D3 D4. Arre bhai. D1 D2 D4, no. So P1 would be equal to 0. Sorry guys. D1 D2 D4. So 1 XOR 0 XOR 1, that would be 0. What about P2? D2 XOR D3 XOR D4, D2 XOR D3 XOR D4, that would be 0. And what about P3? D1 XOR D2 XOR P3 is 0. So that means this is the answer. Now what will be the issue here? This is the solution that is given. Now what one can argue? The argument could be given. This D4 is 0 only, no? D4 is 0 only. Why you are using D4 then? What someone will say, use P1 as D1 XOR D2. Use P2 as D2 XOR D3 and use P3 as D1 XOR D2 XOR D3. These three equations are also satisfying these three guys. These three equations are also satisfying these three guys. And if I don't use this property, forget about this property. If I don't know that all one code word would also be a valid code word, like if you take till this point, then all these code words would be satisfying these P1, P2, P3 condition. What I mean to say is that you take any code word. Let's just say I take this code word 0010, 0010. So what would be the parity bit? D1 XOR D2. What that would be? 0. D2 XOR D3. That would be 1. And D1, D2, D3. That would be 1. So parity bits would be 0, 1, 1. Are we getting the same thing? For which one? For 0010. For 0010, we are getting 011. We are getting 011. So all the codes will satisfy. All these 8 codes will be satisfied. Here we applied another condition. What we applied? That all one's code word would be a valid code word. But sir, we never studied this particular property. I don't even know about this property. Then what I could have done is that I could have taken P1, P2, P3 in this manner, and let's check now what answer we are getting. If I am checking P1, P2, P3 in this manner and my data word is D1, D2, D3, D4, that is 1011, then what would be my P1? P1 would be D1 XOR D2, D1 XOR D2, that would be 1. What would be my P2? P2 would be D2 XOR D3, that would be 1. And what would be my P3? P3 will be 1 XOR 0 XOR 1, that would be 0. That means your answer is coming out to be 1011. So using these three logics, if I am writing down this thing, that is also fine. If I am writing down this thing, that is also fine. So why this is correct and why this is not correct? Why? So this solution was not satisfactory for sure. There is no doubt about it. Whatever the solution that was given, that was not satisfactory at all. They just matched the answer. But whenever the question is coming on Hamming code, whatever that we have studied till now for Hamming code, we always assume that our Hamming code that we are using, that Hamming code is even parity Hamming code. Even if it is not mentioned in the examination, by default you will always consider even parity Hamming code. What is the meaning of even parity Hamming code? The meaning of even parity Hamming code is that whatever the parity bit that you are generating, let's just say this parity bit that I am generating, that is P1 equals to D1 XOR D2 XOR D4. Okay, so this parity bit I am generating. Now you do the P1, okay, and you do this XOR with D1 XOR D2 XOR D4. You do this particular thing, answer should be equals to 0 only. And which would be 0? Because this D1 XOR D2 XOR D4, that is P1 only. So P1 XOR P1, what that would be? That would be 0 only. Right? So by default, we will always take a even parity Hamming code. Right? So even parity Hamming code says that whatever the parity bits that you are generating, you actually do the XOR operation of these parity bits with the generated parity bits. Basically, you do P1 XOR D1 XOR D2 XOR D4. It should come out to be 0, which will surely come out to be 0 only. Right? This was just one second. Yeah, so what I was saying. So by default, it will be applicable that all ones will be a valid code word. Because you know that P1 XOR D1 XOR D2 XOR D4 would come out to be 0 only. P2 XOR D2 XOR D3 XOR D4 would come out to be 0 only. P2 XOR D1 XOR D2 XOR D3, that would also come out to be 0 only. Sir, in this case as well, it would come out to be 0 only. That means P1 XOR D1 XOR D2, that should come out to be 0 for sure. P2 XOR D2 XOR D3, that would come out to be 0 for sure. Are you able to understand why they will be 0 only? Very simple, no? Like P2 XOR with D2 XOR D3. What is D2 XOR D3? That is P2 only. So in all these cases, P1 XOR D1 XOR D2 XOR D4, that would be 0. This would be 0. So for both of the logics, both of the Hamming codes are even parity Hamming code. That means all ones should be a valid code word. This should be a valid code word. 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 in both of the cases should be a valid code word. This is our required condition. What is the condition? That this should be a valid code word. Now if I put these values using this coding scheme, what I mean to say is that if my P1 is D1 XOR D2 XOR D4, that means 1 XOR 1 XOR 1, that would be 1. What would be your P2? D2 XOR D3 XOR D4, 1 XOR 1 with XOR 1, that would be 1. And what would be your P3? 1 XOR 1 XOR 1, that would be 1. That means your parity bit is actually coming out to be 1 1 1 and your data bit was 1 1 1 1. That means 1 1 1 1 is a valid code word. So this coding scheme is fine. Again, let me repeat one statement. All ones will be a valid code word in Hamming code for sure. That's it. This is the bottom line. Forget about even parity Hamming code. Forget about it. By default, always even parity Hamming code would be there. And what is the meaning of even parity Hamming code? That P1 XOR P1 should be 0, and which is pretty obvious as well. That would be 0 only. Right? In this case as well, sir, this property is being satisfied. That means this coding scheme also tells that you are a even parity Hamming code. Here also you will say that this is a even parity Hamming code. That means they should also satisfy that 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 should be a valid code word. But what really happens if I use this coding scheme? Then what will be the value of P1? So that would be D1 XOR D2, 1 XOR 1, 0. What will be the value of P2? D2 XOR D3, 0. What will be the value of P3? D1 XOR D2 XOR D3, 1. So with respect to 1 1 1 1, your parity bits are actually coming 0 0 1. That means 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 is not a valid code word for this coding scheme. It is not a valid code word for this coding scheme. They are not having any relation. That means this coding scheme is actually wrong. Whatever the coding scheme that you have made, in all the previous example that we have seen, okay, we have studied the whole chapter. In the whole chapter, whatever the value of P1, P2, P3 we have written down, take your data bit to be 1 1 1 1. In any example, take all the data bits to be 1 1 1 1. You would see that P1, P2, P3 would always come out to be 1. Any example you can take. Take all the data bits to be 1 1. Take all the data bits to be 1 1. Then surely your parity bit would be 1 1 1 only. No one can stop it. Is that understandable to you? That means all ones will always be a valid code word. Although it is defined for even parity Hamming code, Hamming codes are by default even parity only. That means all ones will be surely a valid code word. So you cannot actually use this coding scheme, you can use this coding scheme. If you have seen, you might have studied from some other platform, in your coaching center, this solution would have been given, but they never told you that why this cannot be the actual answer. Some guy may think that, sir, using this logic, I will say this is my answer. But if it is a Hamming code, then along with this logic is also present. This particular logic is also present. Now, if you consider these four logics all together, then you would see that only this is the possible coding. Okay, so this is the property of Hamming code. Property of Hamming code, this is very, very important, that says that all ones are also a valid code word. Okay, and I'm very, very soon expecting that this kind of question would again come up. So forget about all these things. Like, it is not that easy that I will be able to write down P1, P2, P3 just by observing it. Not that easy. So what I would do, sir, whatever that is given, based on that I can make some code words. Along with that, I know that I can use this particular thing. This is always there with me. If this is with me, then my life will be easier, right? Because if this is with me, then something I can do, something I can get out of it, and I can make more code words as well. Is that understandable to you or not? So this line is actually very, very, very important. Okay, and very soon, if the question is coming on Hamming code, somehow they will relate it to this particular question. So what I feel is that when the professor, whoever framed this particular problem, he would have solved the problem in this manner. Okay, but the research scholar, he made the solution in this manner. He was also right in his place. I'm not saying he is wrong, but the reasoning was not clear to a lot of students, that why this is not possible. This is not possible because it is not following 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. It should have followed 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Then only this would have been possible. So now everything about this question is crystal clear, and the conclusion that you take out of this particular question is that 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 will be a valid code word. Using this particular property, I would be able to do something pretty good. Say yes or no. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So this was the question, and now we have ended our complete digital communication system. Okay, started with random variable, random process. Then what we studied about digital communication system. So first we started with sampling, then quantizer, encoder, line coder. We studied about the bandwidth requirement. We studied about the channel, then receiving filter. We studied about meshed filter. We studied about decoder, everything we studied. Then we came to information theory. We studied about entropy, mutual information, channel capacity. Then we studied about source coding, channel coding. Every single thing we have studied, and not a single question would be coming out of it. Okay, and I hope you have enjoyed the actual communication system. Not mathematics, nothing, pure intuition, pure learning. Okay, so if you have enjoyed, you need to comment down. If you have reached to the last of this video, you can let me know in the Telegram group, or you can let me know in the WhatsApp group as well, that how did you like this digital communication system. Because mostly you are coming here for digital communication system, right? For analog communication, like, everyone is comfortable. That is very straightforward. You are coming here for digital communication system, I know. So if you have came here, and how did you like it, that you need to tell. Okay then, yeah, thank you very much, happy learning.